Chicago.
Turn left on the
to start. It's a good place to start for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, this is where Chicago started, literally. If you're looking at the opposite bank ahead of you, where you see those trees at about 1 o'clock, that was the site of the first settlement by a non-native settler descent. He was born in Haiti. He was a trader, and he built a very large home over there, which is now the site of a new Apple store. I mentioned specifically that he was our first non-native settler, because even before he came here, there were a number of native Maumee tribe. He had an instant social network here. It was called Fort Dearborn, and if you made it to the boat, you passed by Fort Dearborn. It was right up there at the corner of Wacker and Michigan, and if you go back and you look at the sidewalk, you will suddenly notice that there are about 100 plaques. But now connected up the Great Lakes with the Hudson River with the Atlantic Ocean. We were so good at building Canadian $500 million. It was incredibly messy and chaotic, and the powers that be wanted to make it beautiful. Their idea of a beautiful city was Paris, France. So the bridge that you see there was actually modeled in no longer fit at the time. The smaller timber-like structures on the main building house water tanks, which are going to be important for reasons go. You have a two-story base, you have your shaft of offices, and they're finished with a little horizontal bit at the top. Also take a look at the bridge house, because the Jolly Green Giant, the Pillsbury Doughboy, and the TV series Mad Men. This was by a Spanish architect by the name of Bofill. And Bofill said a couple things about architecture. Number one, it should be fun. Number two, it should be theater. So if you look at the very top of the building, you can see that little triangular bit at the top. We call that a pediment. Something you would see on a Greek temple. You would see that there. It's like this elongated Greek temple. Also because they have all those columns, which are fake columns, plastered on the side. The other thing about the building from 1930 by Holt and Rouge, this is in a style that's called Art Deco. Art Deco is what they did between the two world wars, and they like to emphasize verticality. They want to pull your eye up. So if you look at those vertical elements, the limestone piers we call them, they go up straight up and they're uninterrupted. Some people call this armchair deck. They have air conditioning, and you're looking for a way to... And then look at the building behind you. And if you look closely, you can probably tell it's two buildings. The one on the left is from the 1920s. In the 1980s, they decided to add on, which is always tricky. In this case, they pulled it off pretty nicely. No more decoration, same kind of vertical lines, pulling your eye up. They threw in some bay windows, but then what they did, which was really clever, is put that big glass mansard roof on the top. And that does three things. It makes a little nod to the mansard roof on the bridge house you just passed. Number two, it really has the porthole with the flag there. We're going to have a porthole because portholes are cool and they're by the river. There are more portholes on the side of the building. If you look at the very top of the building, you'll see those things that look like oil cans. Just below that, those are supposed to be bridge edge. When people are walking, you're going to see that big black rectangle. During the summer, from Thursday through Sunday, they have something called Art on the Mart. And what they've done is hire a number of different nice art when it gets dark. Vaguely familiar, this is where Ferris Bueller's dad worked in the movie. And they're still playing with that three-card style. We have a stone base. We might as well have a stone base because right behind it is the Lake Street L, which makes a whole bunch of noise. You have the shaft going up and a little blade at the top. But this building had an issue with its site, and the issue is this. This is not a nice, neat, rectangular site. The river curves at this point. But sometimes if you're working with constraints, it's like writing a poem in a certain writing. Is something that looks like the Gateway Arch in St. Louis or the McDonald's Arch. This is River Point. The far side of the river have an issue. And the issue is changes over the last 35 years. This used to be much more industrial, warehouses, that sort of thing. Now it's become a building coming up on your left-hand side at about 11 o'clock. That was converted in 1981 to residences. It was along. There I am. Which is the installation of choice in 1898. It started cracking. So where you see all those stars on the building, those are actually reinforcing rods they put on the building. This was done by like triangles. He would work triangles into a lot of his designs. There on one side, Warrior Boat on the other, and the Warrior was small and funky like this. All right, let's see. Because this was pretty much, but it's become very successful. They have over 10, and President Obama. But when they opened it, there was nothing they wanted to look at. The river was dirty, the river smelled, the river was polluted, so the building was oriented the other direction. Now look at the other. Yes, same here. Mackenzie Townhomes. It's about 25 years. We're doing a major construction project downtown on the river. It's a private development. You can take a stroll all along there. Along the main branch, where we started off, you would have to walk up, across the street, walk down the other side. And it was not continuous. So from 2014, 2006, which is neat. If there's one thing you should do while you're in Chicago, there are lots of things you should do. But one thing you should do is take a walk along the river walk. The people watching is wonderful. The views of the building are entirely... To a certain age, you might remember the Montgomery Ward Company. He came up with a retailing innovation in 1871. It was called the catalog. His first, here it comes. Oh, lots of fog. You can sort of just make it out with the antenna. All right, let me explain what this yellow, why this building has yellow stripes. The architects had gone to Copenhagen on a tour. Copenhagen coming out. This from 1930. The park was called Montgomery Ward Park for a reason. And the reason is, when I keep using that term Art Deco, it's short for decoration, because what characterizes a lot of these buildings from the 20s and the 30s is kind of a flat relief decoration.